Welcome. I got my book out, and this is Eckhart We're talking about a new earth today. Last week we did chapter 1. We found out that the whole human race is neurotic and we're all crazy. And so now we have, this. We're moving on into how do we get to this place? Like what's going on with ourselves? So I love to look at the book. When I do book studies, I love the books. I don't want to throw the books away. We'll talk about some of the things that are in here. But he talks about what's the problem. We tapped on a little bit last week, is this idea of identifying with ourselves, right? Putting the labels on who we think we are. Now, that's helpful, right? Because we want to know our names, and we want to know, who we are as far as our place in the world so that we can know where to go home to when we go home at night and the different things like that. But we attach too much to it, right? It becomes very concretized in ourselves, and we lose this connection to this power, to this energy, to this presence, to this love that is here for us. So that's a big problem. That's a big problem. And that's what he's talking about in this part of the book. He's saying the current state of humanity, and the current state of humanity is that we are caught up in this place of identity rather than consciousness, right? Rather than awareness, rather than really tuning into the magic and the mystery and the wonder and the fun of the moment. Kids do that. That's why they get bored sitting around just listening to some lady talking. And as adults, we go, wow, that's interesting. We're tuning into the moment. Let's see. He says, first of all, he starts out with just the words that we use. Right? We put words around everything, and the words become so important. Now, I love words. I love poetry. I love the words in songs. When we do the songs, the words really matter a lot when we do that and come together. So words mean a lot to me, but getting hung up on words is a whole nother thing, right? But that word is supposed to mean this, so that means you meant this, and that means I'm going to hold you to it, and again, we're holding on, and all these different things. You can feel how it constricts, and it limits, and it pulls you in with all these things that we do and the way that we do them. So this challenge in this chapter is to really pay attention a little bit more and see, well, what are the words that I'm really stuck on? Why am I stuck on them? How are they limiting me? And where am I getting caught? He says, underneath the surface appearance, everything is not only connected with everything else, but it's also the source of all life out of which it came. That was worth waiting for, right? So everything is always connected. And we use thoughts, and we use the words, and we get caught up with them. We become possessed by them. Rather than them being the tool that we use so that we can figure things out, and we can be open about the way that we're figuring things out, we become possessed by them. That's what it means. It means my identity. He says, do you believe some combination of such basic sounds could ever explain who you are? It's funny, you ever go to, this is the season for barbecues, we're finally getting out, and people say, hi, how are you? What do you do? I went to a party once, and I said, and there was a lot of people that didn't know me. It was great. I was very excited to be in a place where people didn't know me. I love going to places where people don't know me. You know why? Because there's no pre-assumptions made. I don't have to pretend. Not that I'm saying that I do pretend, but people they have expectations of you. So I go to this party where there's nobody who knows who I am, only the host that invited me to this party. And so I'm kind of walking around, and how are you? I'm great. What's your name? I said, my name's JoAnn. Oh, that's nice to meet you. Well, what do? I kind of just be. People were like, me? Yeah. doing? I'm talking to you. You know what? I really love talking to you right now. This is really exciting for me. I really feel good. How are you? Let's just be together.
Amen.
You know, somebody this week, a friend of ours, knocked on the door and unexpectedly with 2 chickens. It was really sweet. I know people have been really sweet, but this one experience, and she stood there with the chickens, and she stood there and she just looked into my eyes. And just stood at the door, looking into my eyes. And then for a moment, she had tears, I had tears. And then in the next moment, we had smiles. And we really just stood in a state of profound love. Love. Isn't that great? It was really good. And that's see what we miss when we say, well, we want to fill it up. Information. Give me information so I know how to be. That's the human condition is so hung up on this. Tell me what I'm supposed to be. Tell me how I'm supposed to feel. We don't know. But allow. Because then situations can change. Circumstances can be for us. All these things can happen to us. We can understand this power and this presence that we live in and that moves through everything that we are. We can be in this. We can live in this. This is truly living. This is not the state of humanity at this time. We are so concerned. What side of the line are you on? What do you believe? Who do you choose? What do you want? What do you don't want? What's going to happen? Let it go. Let it go. Our nowhere man doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to. We think we do. We don't. We don't. And that's okay. That's okay. I love his voice, by the way. Fine. It's totally perfect. It's perfect for who we are and where we are. And too many times that's been shut down. That's been locked away. We forget to be in this presence, to be in this moment. I can go over my own stuff, and I know you guys love that, but I do want to share 2 things I know in this chapter that I double starred. So double stars I want to just share with you guys. So our ego, because he's using the word ego, so the word that he's using for ego, this is not a double star, this is just something I want to point out, is that the full sense of self based on identification with thought processing. Okay, so this is the full sense of self based on identification with thought processing, so which means I'm allowing the thoughts in my head to tell me what I am instead of just experiencing what I am. Okay, there's the difference, right? The difference that we're trying to talk about. So something I use when I talk about A Course in Miracles, something that he talks a lot about too, we get caught up in form, right? Ego gets caught up in form. Gets caught up in what the form looks like, how do I identify it, how do I describe it, rather than the content. Like, how do I move around through that? What's the essence of other stuff that's going on, the content, rather than the form and what to identify with? That was something I wrote at the top. I don't even know if that's something he said. Okay, he said, life will give, this is my triple star, okay? Life will give you whatever experience is most helpful for the evolution of your consciousness. How do you know this is the experience you need? Because this is the experience you're having in this moment. I think that's great. It's brilliant. It is really brilliant. So I'm going to give you a crazy example of this. So you know that our son is, for those of you who don't know, our son is struggling right now, and he's a day at a time. He's doing some things. He has cancer, and so he had to go to the plastic surgeon for something for one of his surgeries. And so he was calling them, and I have this book, and I've been calling everybody for him. And finally, I was just like, I can't be the middleman here. Just stop. Just stop. Hand him the phone, walk away, let him decide what he wants to do with this. Because the doctor wants to do something, he wants something else done. And I'm like, I can't do this. He's 37, so he's not a child. So anyway, I gave him the phone. Turns out, he says, could you get me to the doctor's over this time? Yeah, I'll get you over there. Okay, so we have an hour to get to Great Neck from my house. Yeah, get us there. So, and I'm thinking, what do I need? I need to let go. Everyone says, you need some time for yourself. Wow, okay, that would be great, right? Life, if that's what I really need, you give it to me. We go to this doctor's office. It's like a spa. I'm some plastic surgeon in Great Neck. The whole office is beautiful. There's not a thing on it that looks like you're at a spa. And he had to go inside. It was just me in these big comfy chairs. I'm like, the universe is giving me exactly what I needed. They gave me a whole hour, put my feet up, put my earphones on. I did this meditation. I don't know, next thing you know, he's coming out of the room. I was in my spa for an hour. It gave me exactly what I needed because I was open to allowing it. Instead of thinking I had to fix and change and make everything, this is not the place, this is not the spa. Well, for me it is right now today. But this is the thing that I needed right now. It was here for me. It was beautiful. Actually, I had a moment too to watch the recap of the Euro Cup of Italy and Spain playing each other. So I had a little bit of fun, and I had a little bit of just real taking care of myself and relaxation. See how things change? Do you see how we can say, how can you say that this is the thing that's supposed to be happening to you? This is what the ego wants to go in and wants to fix it, wants to change, wants to do everything. This can't be happening in this moment right now. Well, this is the exact thing that we need to continue to help us to be in that elevated sense of consciousness. It's right here, it's right now. There's never nothing going on. Be present. Allow. And don't get caught up in all the shoulds. How many times we say, don't should on yourself, right? You should have, would have, could have. Don't do that to yourself. Well, the thoughts will continue to roll in there when the coincidences are waiting. The coincidences are waiting to allow the magic and the wonder that is of life to be available for you if you just move out of those constant thought processing and allow the amazement of life. So it is.